Hey everybody, Mr. Billick here with a quick review of dividing fractions and using bar models. So particularly, I want to talk about dividing fractions by whole numbers and how to model that with the bar model. If you are in my class, you've seen this several times. It's a good review and there's a good chance it may show up on the test or a quiz. So what do I mean by that? Well, in particular, let's take a look at 1/2 divided by 2. Now you can solve this using the algorithm and the regular way, the KFC way that we worked on before, but let's talk about how to model it using a bar model. So, as always, we want to represent that first number. So, let's start off with our equation. 1/2 divided by 2. We're splitting that 1/2 into groups of 2. So, I have my whole number. Here is my whole. That box stands for one whole. As always, step 1, make your box. Now, we don't work with the one whole. We're only working with 1/2. So let's make that box into 1/2. And we're going to shade what we're working with. So we're only working with 1/2 of this whole. So there's 1/2. And we need to divide this 1/2 into equal groups of 2. So, let's say I have a ½ pound of candy. I want to make 2 equal groups. Can I make 2 equal groups out of this? Well, not right now. So what do I have to do? I have to go to my equivalent fractions if I want to model it correctly. So let's take equivalent fractions of 1/2. We start with 1/2. We can't divide 1/2 into 2. 1/2 is also equal to 2/4. Now, can I make 2 equal groups out of 2/4? Well, yeah, because the 2 is divisible by 2. So, what do I have to do? I have to change this box from halves into fourths, so I can represent 1/2 as 2/4. So to do that, I'm going to go horizontally now. I've already gone vertically, but with this one, it's a lot easier to go horizontally in order to express your model. So I'm going to draw a line here. Now my 1 whole is split into fourths. Can I split this fourths into 2 equal groups, or this 2/4, excuse me, into 2 equal groups? Yeah, I have 1/4 right here and 1/4 right here. They are 2 equal groups. I have split my 1/2 into 2 equal groups. My answer is going to be 1/4, because there's 1/4 in each group. And let's check our work just to make sure. 1/2 divided by 2 is the same thing as 1/2 times 1/2, which equals 1/4. So my answer is 1/4. That one isn't too hard because the equivalent fraction it can be found on the first try. Let's try one that's a little bit more difficult so you can really get an understanding of what I'm talking about. I did drop my marker, but we'll be okay. Okay. Next one I want to look at is 3/4 divided by 4. As always, let's represent my 1 whole. Okay? I'm going to make this a little bit bigger, just on the off chance that I'm working with something that I need to. Okay, so there's my 1 whole. Now I'm going to split this into fourths. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Alright, it's not perfect, but you can see I have 1, 2, 3 fourths. Now I'm only working with 3/4. So let's shade that first. Okay, I'm only working with these 3/4, and I want to split it into groups of 4. Now I can't split this 3/4 into groups of 4. I have to find the equivalent fraction. So let's go to the bottom and start making equivalent fractions until I find one that's divisible by 4. 3/4 is equivalent to 6/8. Is 6 divisible by 4? You're right, it's not. Let's keep going. 3/4 is equivalent to, well, let's just keep doubling. 9/12. Is 9 divisible into 4 equal groups? No, it's not. So we keep going. 3/4 is equal to 12/16. Is 12 divisible by 4? You're right, it is. Great job. So we have to change this bar that represents 3/4. This whole number has to be changed into 16 pieces now, so we can model 12 out of 16. So how do we change this into 16? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to split it horizontally, like I said before. Watch this. Put one line here, one line here, one line here. Now if you look closely, you'll see that I've split it into 16 pieces because I went horizontally now. So now I have 16 pieces. It still is, you still see where I had that original 3/4, divided that way, but now I have 16. Can I make 4 equal groups from the shaded region that I shaded before? Remember, that was this section right here. Yeah, I can make 4 equal groups, and I'll show you them right now. There's one right here, one right here, one right here, and one right here. How many shaded boxes are in each group that I made? Well, we can count. 1, 2, 3. 3 out of 16 total boxes. So, I've divided it into 4 equal groups, and I have 16 boxes, and in each group I have 3 boxes. Each of my 4 equal groups, I have 3 boxes. So my answer should be 3 out of 16. And if we want to check our work quickly, we can. Three-fourths divided by 4 is equal to 3/4 times 1/4. 3 times 1 is 3. 4 times 4 is 16. 3/16 is our answer. And that is how you use the bar model to divide fractions by whole numbers.